My name is Rishi Kumar, and you're at the Growing Home today, which is my home here in Diamond Bar, California, Los Angeles County. And this is a project that I started about 2 years ago. I began converting my home into a urban homestead and learning center. And so what you'll see as we go on this tour is a landscape which is almost completely edible. We're growing. We have about 50 fruit trees. We're growing many different varieties of vegetables. Last time I haven't really counted, but somewhere between 40 and 60. As well as a bunch of animals. We have 9 chickens, 4 rabbits, and a cat. And those are all integral parts of our urban ecosystem here at the Growing Home. So what you'll see behind me is, we're right up by the sidewalk. This is facing the street where everyone can see, and this all used to be just lawn and ground cover. And over the last 2 to 4 years, we've converted this into our edible landscape. So just at the front, you're seeing lavender. We have some rapini broccoli growing. Arugula, St. John's wort, carrots. We have a navel orange tree. A lot of edible flowers, which is a really cool way to incorporate food into your landscape. So those are nasturtiums over there. We also have some calendula flowers growing, which are edible and medicinal. And then lots of, a few more fruit trees. The cherimoya up there. This is a jamun tree, which is a tropical fruit tree from India. And we have 2 babies planted right here that are still coming up. One is a sweet lime tree, and this over here is a pawpaw. And actually takes less water than having a lawn or shrubs. So as we go up, you can see more fruit trees. We have 2 pomegranates in the back there. There's an ice cream bean tree. This is a Valencia orange. And you'll notice that my garden is not very, neat and orderly. We don't have rows of lettuce or carrots or whatever it is, because we're not a industrial commercial farm. There's no reason for us to use those industrial practices in a small scale like this. And actually, those practices are not good for the soil. And when we're doing on a small scale, when we need to grow really intensively, we want to actually focus on building healthy soil and not just having big chemically fed plants. You can see here we have the peas growing, so I can just come through here and pick some really nice peas. I was just reading the other day that only 2% of the peas grown worldwide are eaten fresh. We're always eating that frozen junk, and most people don't know what really good peas taste like. Now as we go through the side, you're going to see the chicken coop. Okay, so the chickens have this whole space here. We have 9 chickens of mixed breeds, Oricanas, Rhode Island Reds, Golden Wyandotte. And these guys this is our composting system right here. We throw them all of our kitchen waste. We feed them a lot of greens from the garden, and their manure is wonderful organic nutrients for the garden and for the garden soil, which is really the key to everything, is feeding the garden soil. So they have this whole space. They're actually underneath grapevines and passion fruit vines over here. And then their coop is right here. This is where they sleep at night. And then while we're here, this is an outdoor shower. So, in the warmer weather, we can come out here, take a shower. The water from the shower just goes out into the planter beds right next to us. So we're saving that water from going into a water treatment plant and then eventually going out into the ocean. That water stays here in the garden, becomes useful for the garden. Okay, so this is, and then again, this is the coop. So the chickens go in here at night. They also come into this in the mornings to lay their eggs. And I think we should have, oh, not yet. No eggs yet today. But you can see I just opened this up, and that's where I grabbed my eggs from. And chickens, they lay about, especially in the summertime, they're laying about an egg a day. So with 9 chickens, we're getting close to 9 eggs a day, which is, really enough for our family of 4. And then here we have banana plants. And yes, we can grow bananas in Southern California, one of the few places in the U.S. that we can grow bananas. We get approximately 1 big bunch a year, so it's not the most efficient use of space in your garden, but it's just something that that can be fun to have. So coming around into the back, you can see a grapevine, a pomegranate tree, cherimoya tree in the back, guava tree, apricot tree, and underneath those trees we have our bunnies running around. We have 4 bunnies. So this here is Jake. You can see he's eating this Timothy hay. So that's one thing that we do buy for them to eat, and that's the main diet of an urban rabbit, I guess. And then we have Coco over here, who doesn't really like to be handled, and this guy is new. This is Wabbit. I just got him from a friend of mine, and you can see their, if you put their food in one place, then their manure, they kind of poo as they eat, and this is their manure. And rabbit manure is really nicely balanced in carbon and nitrogen, so it doesn't get too hot, and you can put it directly into your garden bed. Not like chicken manure that's really hot and you need to mix it with carbon. So I can just put that straight into my garden bed. I can also put that into a worm bin. This is a really great food for red worms. We're vegetarian mostly, so, but that's actually if you're gonna raise meat in an urban environment, rabbits are the best way to go, because they just breed so rapidly, and they don't really they breed rapidly, they get up to size quickly, and they're easy to butcher. So over here we have our 2 raised beds, and raised beds are great for really intensive gardening areas where you want to be really managing every square inch and making sure that you're producing a lot in a small space. So it's the end of the fall winter season. We're getting ready to put our spring and summer vegetables in. And above us we have another cherimoya tree. This fruit's around December, so we're just past the season for that. So a really important part of what we do here is education, and so that's one of the reasons that I left a large open space here for us to teach classes, to hold events. We have potlucks throughout the spring and summer here, where we bring in people to talk about cool projects that are going on in Los Angeles. Get people really thinking about what sustainability really means, and how sustainability can be implemented on a home scale. All right, you can see around the back, lots of greens growing right now: fenugreek, broccoli, fava beans, tree collards, peas, cilantro, potatoes. That is a kefir lime tree with 2 artichokes underneath that. So another really important aspect of an urban garden, where especially in, say, Los Angeles, where we don't have a lot of rain coming in, is that we want to be harvesting as much rainwater as we can. Where I'm standing right now, what we've done, and throughout this area, and actually throughout the garden, what we've done are created systems of in-ground water catchment. Okay, so I'm actually the area where I'm standing right now, we dug a pit. It was about 3 feet wide and 3 feet deep. We then filled this pit with branches. So, something like this size or this thickness. We kind of stack them up in the pit, okay, to fill it up, but also create space in between the branches. And then on the very top, we added our wood chips. So there's about 4 or 5 inches of wood chips that we added on the top. So I can walk on it, okay? It works perfectly fine as a walkway, but there's all this space for water to fill up in. So when we have rain, all of this water starts to collect into these pits. There's one pit here, there's another pit there, there's one down there, and there's one down there. So these are all connected together by channels, and they're all filled up with wood and covered with wood chips. So when I get a rain, I'm able to catch, and I have no way of measuring this, but I'm able to catch hundreds of gallons of water in the ground for free, store it there, and get it nice and deep. And last year, after we put all this in, I didn't turn the irrigation on in my garden until I think it was July, and it stopped raining in March last year. So it was like 3-4 months that I didn't water the garden in the heat in the summer, getting 90-degree and 100-degree weather. And over here we have a Fuyu persimmon. So that's the hard persimmon that you eat like an apple. And behind that is a sweet lime tree. So that's a South American variety of citrus that is really lightly sweet and tastes like a almost rosy. Sapote tree. And you can just see I can try to name all the plants that are growing, but it would be really difficult. There's just tons of different stuff here. Parsley, cilantro, mizuna, catnip, broccoli, sorrel, nasturtium, pineapple sage, lemon-scented geranium, tulsi. It's, I have a hard time keeping track myself of everything that we have. And now we're into the other side. And so the cool thing that we did here, we just had a slope the whole way down, and it was really hard to use, really hard to get plants in and maintain the area. We were losing water because the water would just slide right down the slope. And so what we did is when we removed our concrete patio in the back, which was that open space I showed you, we cut the concrete into these blocks, and we used that concrete to terrace this area of the side yard. We also used recycled materials from a trash dump to terrace the back part. So we were picking up granite rocks, bricks, broken concrete, and we used all that to terrace. Still planting some more trees over here. We have a mango tree, a fig tree that just was put in. Some vegetables growing down here. You can see the Romanesco broccoli coming in right now. And then a whole set of broccoli plants again over here, looking really big and beautiful. Hopefully just getting ready to actually put the broccoli out. And then the last thing over here is our beehive. And we've had them just under a year, and so we're hoping to actually collect some honey really soon. What do the neighbors say? Is it, have you gotten complaints? And the response has really been mixed. Some people are glad that we're doing what we're doing, but there are some people who really, think that homes are supposed to have these neatly maintained lawns with bushes in the, square shapes and rectangles. So we've gotten some complaints too. Yeah, I stopped asking for permission a while ago. I just do it and hope for the best.